Hey, I'm Ross. Welcome to Dekkoo Digest, your weekly series about movies and shows available on Dekkoo, the only streaming service dedicated to gay men. This week, let's talk about Before Stonewall, Skin to Skin, and The Lost Boys. First up, Before Stonewall.
At that time, men were not allowed to show affection to each other, at least not to the point of touching, except maybe, the hand on the shoulder or the kind of boisterous excesses that men go into when they're getting a little intoxicated.
I certainly felt something very strong. There was a certain amount of affection, but it was a very butch kind of affection. There's no way in the world that they would have defined this as being gay activity, and I couldn't either.
Of course, when you're actually in combat, the whole focus is on living and the raw nerve edge of everything. Most of your life is reflex action. But more intense expression of feelings were permitted then.
And I'd gone out with two rather close friends. We were maybe 3 miles from the front lines, and it was a little town in Germany. We'd had a lot of casualties. And I went out and we got very drunk. And coming back, Mertz and I started kind of playing with each other. I remember it was on a bridge. And we actually kind of had sex. I mean, it was with Smitty, the third person over there. Oh, come on, guys, you're drunk, stop it, all of those things. But the traumatic thing about it is that both of those guys were dead in 3 days. Smitty had been hit with a sniper in a foxhole right next to mine, and Mertz had gotten some artillery right in his stomach, and all of this within a week of having had this experience.
In 1969, the police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in New York City's Greenwich Village, leading to 3 nights of rioting by the city's LGBTQ+ community. With this outpouring of courage and unity, the gay liberation movement had begun. Made in 1984 and released to great acclaim at the Sundance Film Festival in 1985 during the harrowing early years of the AIDS crisis, the landmark documentary Before Stonewall pried open the closet door, shining a spotlight on the experiences of queer Americans throughout the 20th century and setting free, dramatic, untold stories of survival, love, persecution, and resistance. Revealing and often humorous, this celebrated film relives the emotionally charged sparking of today's gay rights movement, from the events that led to the fevered 1969 riots to many other milestones in the brave fight for acceptance. Experience the fascinating and unforgettable decade-by-decade history of gay life in America through eye-opening historical footage and amazing interviews with those who lived and fought through an often brutal closeted history. Before Stonewall is now available on Dekkoo. Next up, Skin to Skin.
I know for some people, the NSA thing, like the no strings thing, implies something that's impersonal. Like there's no emotions or there's no real intimacy involved. But some of my most intimate experiences have been with casual hookups, with strangers even. And people really have revealed some seriously surprising and honest things to me, And I've made my own confessions too, in return.
Frenetically paced and packed with gorgeous visuals, the deceptively titled short film Skin to Skin goes way beneath the surface, examining the unexpected emotional depth that can reveal itself during casual hookups. Based on a conversation with an anonymous individual credited only as O, the film uses actors to recreate the intimate moments that can occur just after sex between strangers concludes. An unseen narrator shares a few stories about encounters with people whose post-coital conversations surprised him. Among them are a man grieving the recent loss of his father, a Brazilian immigrant looking for a place to call home, and a young woman learning to own and appreciate the literal scars of her past. A subversively moving piece of work, Skin to Skin examines the no-strings-attached, faceless profiles of Grindr in an honest, destigmatized way, and shows how casual hookups can sometimes lead to unexpectedly poignant connections, and also how, in some situations, it's easier to reveal your innermost self to a total stranger. Finally, The Lost Boys.
regarder derrière moi et mes rêves on se taille ce soir. Où tu plaques, je resserre la cordelaise. Les sourcils froncés quand le vent se lève. Quand les sensations deviennent.
Donne.
Set in a youth correctional facility in France, Joe is preparing for his return to society, uncertain as to what life will look like on the other side of the barbed wire fence. But when new arrival William moves into the cell next door, Joe's desire for freedom quickly gives way to a desire of another kind. The debut feature from director Zeno Grotten, The Lost Boys charts the twists and turns of passion between these two young men who thought their lives had been put on hold. The Lost Boys offer a vision of love between tender and uncompromising, guaranteed to break and mend hearts in equal measure.
Have you seen those films? Let us know in the comments what you thought, or follow us on Letterboxd, connect with other queer cinema lovers, and rate all your favorite gay movies. If you haven't seen them, watch them wherever you can find Dekkoo. Sign up for a free trial to get access to hundreds of gay films. Dekkoo adds at least 3 gay movies every week on top of its extensive catalog of queer classics, short films, and gay cinema from around the globe. Like and subscribe to our channel and join us next week for another new edition of Dekkoo Digest.